It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and yeah, I do work on Sundays, most Sundays, just to get ahead of the week, really. Although there's not really a week, you know. I mean, what is a Sunday for somebody who's working 7 days a week and lives by himself? But anyway, it's Sunday, and Sundays there are these brocante markets, and let's just visit one. I don't need, well, yeah, I could always use more stuff, but I don't really need stuff right now. But let's just get out and shoot some what they call B-roll. Enjoy. There's a whole lot happening here in this village, and I'm not exactly entirely sure what it's all about, but it probably has got something to do with the First and the Second World War. They're pretty big in remembering the First World War and the Second World War here in France. I think it's a good thing. It's new to me because in Holland we were neutral during the First World War, so there's no remembrance there. And in Asia, where I lived, they don't really remember these wars. They don't really organize things about them, which is a shame, because I guess it's really good to educate the youth nowadays on these things, in the hope that history won't repeat itself. Yeah, and there's some booths set up from the army and the police and the fire services. Some sort of recruitment, it looks like. They even have a cockpit of a fighter jet here. You can have a try at it. Well, maybe I could use my expertise and join these guys here. Well, I guess I'm a bit too old to join any of these departments. And by the way, my French is not good enough. I better stick to my plans, and my plans for now are to finish the bathroom. And for that, I need to start with the floor. I need to put in the plumbing. I need to put in temporary plumbing, no, not temporary plumbing, but initial plumbing, which I'll fix later, and drainage. And then I can start with the floor, because we're gonna raise the floor, right, like it was originally. And then after the floor, we're gonna render, and we'll take it from there. But anyway, I gotta fix the floor, the plumbing, the electricity right now. I'm gonna do that today. If you're new to the channel, you might be wondering, what is this guy doing? And I'm asking myself that an awful lot. What am I doing? But what I'm really doing now is raising this floor. This used to be, I think, a bathroom a long time ago, because there was a raised floor in here, and I started removing that raised floor. It was just tiles on top of mortar, on top of a thick layer of sand. And in that sand there were drainage pipes, sewage pipes, so to speak. And now we are installing new sewage pipes, new shower, laundry machine, vanity. And as I don't want to start cutting into the concrete slab below, because I don't want to open up Pandora's box, I just want to have my bathroom finished, I am laying the new sewage over the concrete slab again. And in order to make a flat surface, walking surface, I'm raising the floor again. So I'm raising it with these 10 centimeter, 4 inches thick aerated concrete. And then on top of this will come 5 centimeter, 2 inches thick insulation foam. And on top of that, floor heating and tiles. I want to have this raised floor and the plumbing in before I start rendering the walls, because eventually I want to have a seamless join between the walls and the floor. We're putting in those concrete blocks, we're putting in the plumbing. After that we can start sealing up, rendering the walls really. Oh, that was quite a bit of figuring out. But I've got my drainage ready, and it's a lot of figuring out because there's no straight corners here, and the drainage pipes and connections are all straight. The corners are 90 degrees or 45 degrees, but that's it, and it's fairly rigid. You can buy flexible coupling hoses, but I didn't want to go there because these are made of rubber, and rubber has a productive lifespan of about 10 years. And this is all going to be covered, right, sitting in a floor. Partially glued, the connections, and partially not, and I'm going to do that now. This is just a dry fit so far. Right, let's stick this hot water line in. I just put in the multi-couche, multi-layer cold water line for the laundry machine. I'm just routing it, not connecting it anywhere. This is the hot water line for the vanity, for the faucet, for the sink, I don't know. And then I think I'll just put one extra cold water in for the toilet. It's gonna be sitting here. And then I extend the line from the toilet above ground to the vanity. Purely because this pipe in the wall is not big enough to stick two more lines in there, I think. Okay. Right, that was the last one, the last floor stone or something like that. What a job. I'm just going to quickly drench the whole floor in glue and then I'm going to call it a day, and then tomorrow I can start with the floor insulation, and once that is on I can start rendering the walls. That would be really cool. I'm really looking forward to rendering the walls because that would change the whole look of this bathroom and start looking like a bathroom. Right, let's carry on. A little bit more to go today. $65. Okay, so I got my vanity drawn out here and we're gonna build up the walls. Yeah, because then because I want to have the walls sitting on, obviously, on the concrete, and then after the walls are up later today I can start cladding the floor with the insulating boards. Okay, so this is basically going to be my vanity. It's going to be sort of at this height, the counter, a little bit high. I haven't decided yet, or we haven't decided yet, what to make the countertop of and how thick it will be. We've got obviously the other wall that the counter leans on, but this is a higher wall because our toilet is going to be behind it. I'm going to glue everything in place. And then I can start with the floor, and that is putting the insulation board on. just a slight height difference between the shower stall and this floor. About, well, 3 mil, I would think. Yeah, 3 mil. But we can solve this with the tile glue later. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to be shocked of, I think. Oh, nice. Getting this floor in slowly. Whew. This is the only piece I don't have to cut. The rest I all have to cut to size. Anyway, let's do this. So I've got these quite long and thick foam boards. They're called Q board. It's meant for insulation. It's also used to build furniture out. You can tile directly on this material, and it's sturdy. It's a sandwich, glass fiber reinforced with this cement finish coating on it. They are not cheap, but they are ideal for projects like these, because now I am cladding my floor, lining my floor with them. On top of this I will have the electric floor heating. Yeah, and these boards are fairly narrow, 60 centimeter, that's what, about 2 feet, and quite long, and especially in the walkways I want to keep them in one piece. I'm gonna have to cut them up eventually to reach the smaller areas, and I have only 4 boards, which is just enough for this space. But I'm trying to keep them in one piece in the busy areas, the walkway. So I'm gonna lay one on the left side here of this board that I have already laid down, and that means that I've got to start tracing all the angles, put it on the board, then measure how much of the board I gotta cut out here to make this work, and then a little further here. So there's going to be a lot of measuring and a lot of transcribing the measurements on the board, cutting it with a Stanley knife, and then hopefully it'll fit in place. I want to do this correct. I don't want to make any mistakes, because these boards are expensive, and I don't want to ruin one by taking poor measurements. Don't poop on my art project here, huh? And you cut this just with a Stanley knife. Okay, let's see how this is fitting. Now I've got to be careful because my walls are still not cured. Yeah, so you missed the moment supreme, as they call it, of putting that board in place. Let me see if I can film it. There you go, it's in place. I just didn't have the camera on time in the right position, and it was quite tricky because these walls are still not cured. I mean, I could push them over, and there's only one way of getting the board in, and that's by lifting it up high and then lowering it because of the awkward angle of the two. Well, it's not fitting perfectly. As you can see, there's quite a gap there, but what I will do of rest material left over, cut-offs, I would just fill it in with a piece, and eventually there's going to be some tape on top of it glued in place that's sealing it all off and making it watertight. So it's not really a concern, but you want to do everything to perfect if possible. But most important is that the longitudinal seam, that's pretty neat. I'm really happy about that. And this was probably the most awkward piece to fit because of those two cutouts really that are really in an awkward angle and not parallel at all. But yeah, I mean, if you would want to do it perfectly, you could make a template out of paper and then transfer the template on. Maybe I should have done that. Yeah, anyway, but I didn't. But it doesn't matter. So let's just carry on. There's a tiny little bit of a slight difference in height, like a few millimeters, but still I would like to rectify that later on. What I'll do, well, first of all, there will be sort of strips glued down over the seams, and then the floor heating, which is on fiber mats. And then I'll pour a layer of leveling cement so that this is all perfectly flat. Yeah, because you know, I mean, you don't want to have puddles of water in a bathroom. That's the thing. I like, you know, like we did in the little house where it's not all perfect. That adds character, but in a bathroom you want to have, you know, really a maintenance-free floor. I've just finished. I just squirted in expanding PU foam in the seams. I don't know whether it's worth it, but you know, it wouldn't hurt. Yeah, I just have to cut the excess off tomorrow and then I can start taping all the seams and all the joints with the walls. And yeah, then yeah, we probably can start getting these two half-height walls in shape for the countertop. I don't have a countertop yet, I'm not sure. Maybe I do it with this aerated concrete blocks or maybe a wooden countertop. But then the countertop is fairly deep at the far end and I don't want to have a join in wood, given the fact that it's quite often wet, of course, on a countertop. A vanity top or whatever you call it. So I still need to have a little think about that. But yeah, we can start really prepping the walls tomorrow, sanding off, grinding off the really hard, rugged edges, and start prepping for the final render coat. I'm pretty happy. Oh yeah, this part I need to show you. This is where my toilet is going to sit, and I want to have the toilet sitting on concrete. You gotta bolt your toilet down, screw your toilet down into something solid, especially when you're 130 kilograms. Yeah, so I gotta buy a toilet first and then make sure that the base sits in concrete and the rest can be filled up with foam. But I gotta buy a toilet first. It's gonna be a simple toilet, nothing fancy. I really would like to have one of those Japanese toilets with wiping functions and steaming functions, but the danger of that is that I'll spend all day on the toilet and not get to work. So I really need to thank Catherine for her contributions. Thank you so much, Catherine. You're a star. Philip and Mary, thank you very, very much. And Tony, thank you, Tony. Thank you all for watching, for subscribing, for liking, for commenting, and for sharing. Really important to share this video. There's still not enough viewers. The algorithm hasn't picked up on my channel somehow. Anyway, I'm going to continue with the bathroom. I am going to finish the floor, finish the countertop, I hope, and start rendering, and you'll be seeing that in the next video. It's gonna be pretty epic. Oh, and I am going to do something I've never done before in my life. Oh, exciting! Bye now.